We'll be learning about this. What are the harmful effects of air pollution? How air pollution is impacting our day-to-day life. How we are being impacted by this. Getting it, guys? Then we would be learning about special things like acid rain. Okay, now while we would be learning about water pollution, we would be learning about acid rain. And in fact, acid rain, it's because of air pollution. If the air is polluted, so thereby the incoming rainfall, it will turn into acid rain. So we'd be learning about that. What are the harmful impacts of acid rain? We'd be learning about how Taj Mahal in Agra. It's a beautiful historical moment. Now it is slowly turning into pale yellow color. Why that's happening? We'd be learning about that. Then we would be learning about greenhouse effect in the chapter. Okay, na? Like how the increase due to burning of fossil and fuel, due to increased industrial activities, uh, the carbon dioxide gas concentration in the atmosphere is increasing, because of which the global warming is happening. Right, now global warming is happening, where we get to see that the sea level is rising dramatically. The sea level is rising. How it will pose danger to the fisheries. Like whenever the sea level will be rising, so thereby what will be observed, the fisheries will be impacted. The people who are into the fish business, their business will be impacted. Not only that, even the people living in the coastal areas, their livelihood will be in danger, isn't it, guys? So hope you guys
Yes,
can
sir.
understand that. Okay. Furthermore, we will also learn like global warming, it can reduce rainfall in some parts of the earth also, and it can lead to drought also. Then we would be learning about what are the mitigation steps. What are the steps we have to take care of to control the air pollution? What is our individual role in controlling the air pollution? What you as an individual can do. Then in the topic water pollution, we will learn about what is water pollution, what are the sources of water pollution, how use of fertilizer or how untreated sewage coming out from our houses can lead to pollution of water, how use of excess fertilizers and pesticides can lead to water pollution, what are the harmful effects of water pollution. We will be learning about this. We'll be having a special look at the case of river Ganga and Yamuna. Okay, now what, why they are highly polluted rivers, what are the causes behind that. Okay, now like at many places, the Ganga River has been said to be dead at some places. Dead in what sense? Dead in the sense that any aquatic animals like fishes or any other plants cannot survive in Ganga at certain places. Getting it now? So we'd be learning about that. Okay. Then what are the methods we have to take care of in order to control the water pollution? And we'd be learning about conservation of water, that what is potable water, what is drinkable water, huh? What are the different ways using which we can clean the water, what is chlorination, right now. So all those things you'd be learning in this chapter. Let's see if you'll be able to cover the different topics in today's class. Prior to discussing, if anyone happens to have any question, please do let me know. Yes, Gauri, Chakrika.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So first of all, talking about air. So basically air, what is air? It's a mixture of gases now, which is present all around us, right? It's a combination of different gases that forms a blanket of layer called as atmosphere above the earth. That is what air is. Okay, do tell me what are the composition of air?
So nitrogen,
Hmm.
oxygen, carbon dioxide,
Good.
and dust particles and other gases.
Okay, dust particles can be counted in the lower levels of the atmosphere. Okay, no? Hmm. So talking about air, it's a combination of different gases that forms basically the atmosphere of the earth. And this is the most unique thing about the atmosphere of the earth. Like earth has got the right amount of all the gases, it has got the right amount of thickness of gases. Like if you were to look at other planets like Mars, Mars also has atmosphere, but it has got a very thin atmosphere, so thereby it's not suitable for life to exist there. Getting it, guys, now? Talking about some other planets, some planets are very cold, so thereby it is not suitable. Anyways, so talking about air, so air contains so many gases in it. There would be gases like oxygen, nitrogen. Oxygen and nitrogen would be making up about 99% of the gases on gases in the atmosphere, isn't it, guys? Both of these together makes up about 99% of the total composition of the atmosphere of the Earth. Then we have some gases like carbon dioxide. Earlier, while I was of your age now, when I was in class 8th standard, at that time I was learning that the concentration of carbon dioxide gas was 0.03%. Huh? 0.03%. Now it has increased to 0.04%. Getting it, guys? So it has been posing a great danger to our livelihood, to our survival on Earth. We would be learning about some other gases like water vapor. Water vapor is also a gas. Okay, now we would be learning about gases like helium. Have you guys ever heard of this gas, helium? You would have
Yes,
heard
sir.
of helium bulbs now. We'd be learning about some gases like ozone. We'd be learning about gases like argon. There are some gases like argon also. Then there are some other composition of air like dust particles are also a part of this. That is one thing. All right now. Also, our atmosphere is made up of different layers. Like there are layers like troposphere is there, troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere, exosphere, ionosphere. After ionosphere, space starts. Space starts after the ionosphere. So in which layer we are living? We are living in the troposphere, the layer of the atmosphere that is close to Earth's surface. So there we are living. Okay, now talking about what is air pollution. So according to the World Health Organization, that is WHO, air pollution, it is defined as presence of different substances in a certain concentration in air that can cause harm to human beings and also to the environment. That is the definition of air pollution as per the World Health Organization. Getting it, guys, now? Okay. So the contamination, like the air, particularly over the large cities, it is heavily contaminated with harmful gases like sulfur dioxide or nitrogen oxide or carbon monoxide or smoke and different dust. Right now, you guys observe this thing, like if you happen to visit um city like Delhi, or if you happen to visit your village, your grandmother's village, you would notice the difference in the quality of the air. The air quality index will be very different, isn't it, Chakrika, Gauri?
Yes, sir.
Right now, because in the air now, in the air of the cities, there would be gases like carbon dioxide, gases like sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide is there, carbon monoxide is there. Right now, smoke is there in the air. So all of that makes the air contaminated because these are the unwanted substances. Right now, these are the unwanted substances. They are dust particles also, and these are called as pollutants. What do we call them as? Pollutants. These are the air pollutants more specifically. So pollutants are the contaminating particles. Right now, for example, uh, a fly falls in the water, for example, an insect falls in the water. So the water becomes contaminated. It's unfit for consumption. Right now, just like that, for example, air contains so many of these gases, dust particles are there, smoke is there, so air becomes contaminated. So the particle that makes a given medium unfit, makes it polluted, are called as pollutants. So these are the air pollutants. So hope that should be clear. Getting it now? So contamination of air with these harmful gases will be simply called as air pollution. And the substance whose presence in air makes it impure is called as air pollutant. Hope it is clear.
Yes, sir.
Also, a substance becomes an air pollutant when it is present in air in usually higher amount. Okay, na? Like carbon dioxide, it is always present in the air. But if it is present in higher amount, na, if it is present in higher amount, then in that case, what happens? It will be called as pollutant. Like even if you happen to visit a village, the air in the village will also contain carbon dioxide gas. But at that time, it is not being considered as an air pollutant. But at the same time, when you happen to visit a city, in that place, the carbon dioxide is being considered as a pollutant because it is present in high amount, high concentration. So it is present in enough amount to have a harmful effect on the living or the non-living things in that area. Got this, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So that is the thing. How does air get polluted? So air gets polluted because of presence of unwanted or harmful substances in it. Right now, namely, some of the pollutants we have discussed moments ago would be smoke, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, dust, etc. And all of them are called as air pollutants. Okay, now that is one thing. And air pollutants can be classified into different categories based on their sources. Air pollution, air pollutants, I mean to say, air pollutants, it can be classified into different sources. Like if it is coming from within the houses, within the offices, so that will be called as indoor pollutants. That will be called as indoor pollutants, which will be coming from within our houses, right? Then the second category on the base of the source will be outdoor pollution. Outdoor pollutants, I mean to say, outdoor pollutants. Hope you guys are getting this. Okay. So talking about indoor and the outdoor air pollutants. So indoor air pollutants, now these are just basically generated indoors in houses. Like it is generated inside our houses. It is generated inside our school, our commercial spaces, our commercial facilities, in the institutions. Right? It is not produced in the open, but it is produced in the indoors, in our houses, in our offices, like that. And indoor air pollutants may not severely impact the health of the person, but certainly in a long span of time, it can lead to certain problems. It can lead to certain health problems. All right, now, guys. Although they are not, you will not observe, like if you're exposed to these indoor pollutants, you are going to become severely ill, but for a long duration of time, it will certainly have some impact. Okay, now, and the different indoor pollutants are as follows. The different indoor pollutants are as follows. For example, you have some of the biological pollutants, uh, like we can consider some biological pollutants. We'd be having several pet animals at our home, for example, dog, for example, cat. So it could be the pet hair that can also lead to pollution, that can also act as an air pollutant. Right now, presence of fungi. You know, fungi reproduces via their spores now, right? Chakrika and Gauri. So the
Yes,
presence of
sir.
spore in the atmosphere, so that will also act as an air pollutant. Right now, that is one thing. Pollen grains, pollen grains that will also be considered as an air pollutant. Right now, furthermore, if certain people would be smoking within their houses or offices, so that is also a source of pollution. So tobacco smoke, that is also indoor pollutant. We have some gases also, like for example, carbon monoxide. I'm writing in short, okay, carbon monoxide. Furthermore, we have certain kind of building materials also, like we have asbestos, we have materials like lead that can have a very fatal impact on our health. Getting it, guys? Now, asbestos, by the way, it's a fibrous material now that is used as a heat resistant or as a resistant to corrosion. Certain materials, it would be covered with asbestos. Okay, and in a class I will be showing you what is this is basically. Like asbestos now, they are having a high resistance towards heat. They will not easily catch fire. So you would have seen like wires of certain appliances would be covered with this asbestos so that it does not catch fire. But the problem is that this asbestos, it can cause cancer. What it can do? It can cause cancer. Causes cancer. So thereby its use should be discouraged and it's considered as an indoor pollutant. Also look at some other indoor pollutants. Like we had examples of some dust mites, also bed bugs are also could be also could be a pollutant. Different bacteria, viruses in the bathrooms, they are air pollutants right now. Different chemicals are used in the kitchen, carbon dioxide or the smoke coming out of the kitchen. So that will also be an indoor pollutant. In the garage, grease. In the garage, we can have carbon monoxide or paints or some other solvents used to clean the parts of the vehicles. All of this can be considered as a pollutant. So these are the indoor pollutants. Getting it, guys? That is one thing. Talking about indoor air quality. Okay, now. So indoor air quality, basically it will be defined as the quality of air within our houses, within our building or the commercial structures. Also, if the air quality within your house, within the office, it is low, so it can not lead to immediate effects. It cannot lead to a very lethal effect, but it can cause some immediate effect. Like for example, it can lead to irritation in the eyes. It can lead to redness of the eye. It can lead to redness of the eye. Getting it? Or it can even cause headaches or dizziness. Okay, now. Like, for example, if you were to sit in a tightly packed room, a room that is having a very poor ventilation, so you would feel suffocated. You know why you feel suffocated? Because the concentration of carbon dioxide gas would be increasing in that area. Ever happened with you guys? Like if you're traveling in a lift, you are traveling in a lift with a group of people, you might feel uncomfortable. Huh? If they are
Yes, sir.
right now unusually more number of people, like 10 or 11 number of people in a lift, so you might feel uncomfortable. Or if you're in a room with so many people, you'd be feeling uncomfortable because people would be exhaling out carbon dioxide gas, and if the concentration of carbon dioxide gas were to increase in that room, that will make you feel suffocated. That is one thing. So thereby low indoor air quality can lead to several problems, like one of them would be headache or dizziness, also suffocation, also or redness of the eye or irritation of the eye. Getting it now? Like this. So that is all about indoor air quality. Hope you guys have understood this. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then talking about the outdoor pollutants. Remember, we did learn that there are two type of pollutants, namely indoor and outdoor, based on their source. So talking about the outdoor pollutants now, it would be basically referring to the contamination of the air taking place in the open environment. Right now, so like you are burning some fossil fuel, you're burning wood, coal, petrol. So that will give out different gases due to burning of fossil fuels. Gases like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, or gases like methane, sulfur dioxide, and dioxide can be given out. Or from smoke coming from the industries, from the vehicles, that are also source of indoor air pollution. So those gases that will be coming out, namely different outdoor air pollutants, would be particularly carbon dioxide, huh? Carbon monoxide, would be having nitrogen oxide, or you have sulfur dioxide, or for example you have different kind of hydrocarbons. Okay, now, like for example methane. So all of it would be coming from various sources. From, it could be from car, it could be from factories. Right now, it could be due to burning of fossil and fuel. So that is what outdoor pollutants would be. Have a look at this pie graph, where it shows that it's just a general number, not to be taken as exact numbers. So like from transportation, 57% of these pollutants would be coming from transportation. These pollutants, namely carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide, dioxide, or nitrogen trioxide, or sulfur dioxide, uh, or different kind of hydrocarbons like methane would be coming out. Mainly 57% of them will be coming from transportation, right? Now from cars, from other vehicles, right? Some of them, except for wheels, some of them would be coming from fuel consumption, like the fuel that is consumed in other machines apart from vehicles. Some of the fuels would be consumed to run the machines in the factories and in other places. So that will be amounting to about 21% of the source of these pollutants. In industrial process, 12%, and miscellaneous could be any other purpose. Okay, now so these are basically sources of outdoor air pollutants. What are these? Outdoor air pollution, outdoor air pollution sources. So hope that should be clear. Now, this is another way to categorize the pollutants. One is primary, another one is secondary. Okay, now both of you observe the diagram over here. Observe this image. So what do we observe here? Like depending upon the emission of the air pollutants into the air, they can be categorized as primary and secondary pollutants. Okay, primary pollutants, if you were to look over here, like for example, sulfur dioxide or nitrogen oxide, nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide. These are the pollutants that are being directly released into the environment. They are directly being released into the environment. For example, the harmful gases, that harmful, different kind of harmful gases. For example, all these gases listed over here. Sulfur dioxide, it's a harmful gas. If sometime accidentally, if you were to inhale sulfur dioxide, it will suffocate us. Okay, na? It will be giving you a very it will be you will feel irritation in your nose and eyes if you happen to accidentally inhale sulfur dioxide gas. Or nitrogen dioxide gas is there, nitrogen oxide is there, carbon dioxide. All these gases are directly released, directly emitted into the air from industries and from vehicles. Getting it now? So these are the primary air pollutants. These are the primary air pollutants. Hope that should be clear. Chakrika, you getting it now? And Gauri also.
Yes, sir.
Good. So primary, they are, we can say that they are directly emitted. They are directly emitted into air. Now, if you were to talk about the secondary, so secondary, I think you guys can guess how it will be formed. This will be formed as a reaction taking place between the various primary pollutants in the air. So the secondary pollutants, they are the one that are generated due to reactions taking place between the various constituents of the various constituents present in the air. Right now, for example, when there will be a rainfall, so thereby what will be happening? Acid rain will occur. Not every time, but if there are gases like sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide in the air. See, while we are going to be learning about the case of the acid rain now, there particularly you will be learning about, okay, we'll be learning about that in a minute. While we would be learning about acid rain now, there we will get to know that gases like sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide. Sulfur dioxide, for example, this is a primary pollutant now, right? This is a primary pollutant, right, Chakrika and Gauri? It will
Yes,
react
sir.
with the rainwater. It will react with the rainwater, and as a result of that, an acid will be formed. The acid will be sulfuric acid. Okay, na? Sulfuric acid. And this acid will be present in that rainwater. That will be present in that rainwater. So the rainwater is itself a pollutant. Presence of rainwater in the air, is it a good thing? It's a bad thing, right? It makes the air polluted,
Yes, sir.
right? That's why, like you'd have heard, like old people would be saying, don't take a bath in the first rainfall. In the monsoon, when it's the first rainfall, you shouldn't be taking bath. Like many people would be just for fun, they would be bathing in the rainwater. But in the first, always the first rainwater should be avoided, because there will be lots of gases present in the air. Lots of these kind of pollutant gases will be present. So this acid rain is a secondary pollutant. This is a secondary pollutant. Getting it, guys? Also, there are some other secondary pollutants. Like we have nitric acid also, apart from sulfuric acid. Right now, we did discuss about this sulfuric acid, right? Now, acid rain can contain one more acid called as nitric acid also. This one is nitric acid. All right now. So nitric
Yes,
acid
sir.
can also be present over here. There are some other gases also. There are some other pollutants also. Okay, like sulfur trioxide is also there, although not really important to memorize. So hope it should be clear to everyone. Okay. Next, talking about the causes of air pollution. So talking about the causes of air pollution. So air would be getting polluted from a number of things. Like air would be getting polluted from some natural sources. Sometime forest fire could be there. Sometime volcanic eruptions. They will be releasing lots of harmful gases into the atmosphere. Recently, you guys have seen there was a volcanic eruption in Indonesia. Uh, okay, Chakrika, no worries. You can leave the class early then. Huh. You guys have heard like yeah, there was a volcanic eruption in Indonesia recently. So there you will have observed lots of smoke was released into the atmosphere. Lots of gases and dust particles were released. So air could get polluted from natural sources also. The natural sources would be usually they would be natural sources. For example, there could be some forest fire. So due to forest fire, lots of gases would be released in the atmosphere like carbon dioxide. Lots of gases like carbon monoxide will be released. Getting it? A volcanic eruption that will also release lots of smoke and dust in the atmosphere, thereby making it polluted. Another source would be burning of fossil fuel, burning of fossil and fuel. Okay. Then, particularly in burning of fossil fuels, when you'd be burning coal and petrol, so thereby they will be releasing some harmful gases, like they would be releasing carbon monoxide. They will be releasing gases like nitrogen oxides. Nitrogen oxides will be released. And not only that, they will also be releasing gases like sulfur dioxide. Okay. These are the pollutants released due to burning of fossil and fuel. Then the exhaust from the factories, they will also release very harmful gases like carbon dioxide, hydrocarbons, certain hydrocarbons will be released. So exhaust, as you can see, these are the exhaust from the factories, the chimneys that we call. Okay, no? The chimneys, they will also be releasing lots of pollutants. Then there would be certain pollutants released into the atmosphere due to some agricultural activities also. So agricultural activities will also release some pollutants. For example, when farmers, without being trained, without proper knowledge, when they would be using insecticides, or when they would be using pesticides, huh? Or for example, then when they would be using weedicides, or when they use fertilizers. Huh? So use of these chemical substances will also release lots of chemicals in the air. Right now, it will lead to release of the chemicals in the air that can make the air impure, make it polluted. Okay. Furthermore, different agricultural activities will also lead to release of ammonia in the atmosphere, which is very harmful for us. Agricultural activities also, due to some agricultural activities, ammonia is released in the atmosphere, and ammonia is very hazardous for the health of living organisms. It is hazardous for the health. It is not good. So these are some of the sources of air pollution. There was one more. Our household also, like our houses, from there also lots of air pollutants will be released. Right now, like different kind of products that we use at home, like air conditioners, refrigerators, or other appliances, that will also contribute to air pollution. Particularly air conditioners and refrigerators that were earlier in use, they were using a gas called as chlorofluorocarbon. Getting it, guys? Air conditioner and refrigerators, like the older models, they were running on a gas. They were using a gas called as chlorofluorocarbons. Have heard of this gas before? I might have told you guys about this. Hmm?
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh. So this chlorofluorocarbon gas, now, actually it depletes the ozone layer of the earth. It is damaging the ozone layer of the earth. Huh? And we know that ozone layer is the protective layer on in the earth's atmosphere that prevents the ultraviolet rays from reaching the surface of the earth. Right now, if there were to be no ozone layer, we would be dying of skin cancer. Getting it, guys? Also, in rural areas, people would be burning wood, cow dung cakes would be burned. In some parts of some states in India, for example, in Haryana, people would, or in Punjab also, people would simply, once the cultivation of crop has been done, once the harvesting is done, they will simply, you would have seen like some part of the plant will still be left in the soil. Right now, once you have cut the wheat or rice plant, some part of it will still be there in the soil along with the root. So farmers have to manually or with the help of a machine, they should be uprooting it. But rather than that, to cut the cost, they will simply put it in on fire. So that will be releasing lots of gases now. And Delhi, like Delhi would be basically getting polluted, like particularly in winter because of those smoke coming out from the nearby states. There was one more activity like to be counted in this, that was mining activity. So mining activity will also release lots of dust and smoke in the air. That is one thing. Furthermore, talking about effect of the pollutants on the environment, how the different pollutants would be impacting the environment. So we are going to have a look at some of them. First of all, guys, talking about carbon monoxide. What have we learned about carbon monoxide? What do you guys know about carbon monoxide? Yes. Yes, Gauri. The gas carbon monoxide, we know that it is produced when a fuel would be burning in insufficient amount of oxygen. Like when coal will be burned in absence or in a limited supply of air, it will produce a gas called as carbon monoxide. Right now, so due to burning of a fuel in limited supply of air, that is how it is produced. And what is the effect? The simple effect is, this is a toxic gas, this is a poisonous gas. This is a poisonous gas. If someone were to inhale this in lots, in enough quantity, thereby the person can even die. So it is very fatal, it can be very deadly. So what are the effects? First thing, it's poisonous. Another thing is that it decreases the oxygen carrying capacity of the blood. Okay, now it decreases oxygen carrying capacity of the blood. Carrying capacity
Sir,
of, yes. Hmm.
so can you go on previous slide?
Yeah, sure. What happened over here? It got overlapped, no? I think.
Yes, sir.
Mhm. Do one thing. Let me open it once again. Just give me a moment. Uh, no, there seems to be some error in this. Anyways, it can't be undone. Are you able to understand what was written in this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Okay, can
Yes,
we
sir.
continue? Okay, anyways, so we did learn about that, about carbon monoxide. Okay, now next let's learn about smog. So talking about the smog, so smog is made out of two things, basically fog and smoke. Right now, it's basically a combination of fog plus smoke. Right now, so particularly in winter, you will observe this. Right now, so in winter, you do nowadays like when you visit some polluted cities, it's no longer fog. Instead of fog, you get a smog. Right now, because there's lots of smoke now in the air. So the smoke will be combining with fog, and it will form a smog. So this is a pollutant, and this can be very problematic. First thing is it's very problematic for the people who would be driving, huh? People who would be walking on the road. So it will be very problematic because it decreases the visibility. First of all, decreases visibility. It is reduced. So the chances of accidents in the road will increase, particularly in the winter season now. Getting it, guys? That's why many times if you happen to travel from railways, the railways will be delayed in the winter because of smog, because visibility is reduced. Okay.
Yes, sir.
It can also cause some respiratory problems like asthma. It can lead to cough also, etc. Also, it can lead to irritation in the eyes also. Okay, now talking about some gases, some other pollutants like sulfur dioxide. So what is the source? So sulfur dioxide will be mainly produced due to burning of coal. When coal is will be burned, thereby sulfur dioxide will be produced. How much of sulfur dioxide will be produced? It will depend upon the type of coal you are burning. The coal with less carbon content, if you are burning that kind of coal, it will release less. If a coal has, for example, you are burning peat, peat or bituminous, so that will release lots of sulfur dioxide gas. But if you're burning anthrax, it will release less amount of sulfur dioxide gas. Anyways, talking about the problem caused by this sulfur dioxide, it can also lead to some respiratory problems. It can lead to some respiratory diseases. Also, it can damage the lungs also. Lungs will be damaged if someone were to inhale too much of sulfur dioxide gas. Talking about another air pollutant, that is chlorofluorocarbon. Chlorofluorocarbon, in short written as CFCS. So this will be produced earlier. It was used in air conditioners. Now it was used as a refrigerant, by the way. It was used to cool the keep the refrigerators cool. So it was used as a refrigerant. Refrigerant would be any material that can be used to cool down things. Like liquid nitrogen, you would be aware of this. It would be used to cool down things. Now many of the medical equipments would be placed between the placed with would be kept cool with the help of liquid nitrogen. If there's some diabetic person, so thereby they would be storing the insulin with the help of liquid nitrogen to keep it cool. Getting it, guys? So chlorofluorocarbon, it is produced from ACs or from refrigerators. Although nowadays the use of chlorofluorocarbon has been its use has been banned. Talking about the problem it causes, it is damaging the ozone layer. It is damaging the ozone layer, right? And that is the main problem it is causing. Then in the air there are suspended matter also, that is called as SPM. They are suspended particulate matter. What are they? Suspended particulate matter. So these are the particles that will be produced due to the burning of the fuel. These are the particles produced due to burning of different kind of fuels. So they will be further. They would be kind of a complex mixture of very solid small particles. Getting it now? And they would be found in the air. They will remain suspended in the air. Right now, like the name itself says that it remains suspended. So it will not settle unless like dust particles, the dust particles will settle. Right now, if left undisturbed, it will settle. But there are some particles now that will remain suspended in the atmosphere. Getting in what I'm trying to say?
Yes,
Also,
sir.
you would have seen like if you go to purchase a face mask, so you will observe not the face mask that you use to clean the skin. the face mask that we use to avoid the air pollution. Keep yourself safe from the air pollutants. So, on some of them, it will be written that it offers protection against the suspended particulate matter also. Okay, na? Like SPM 2.5, SPM 2.6, like that it will be written on it. Okay. Or like PM10 would be there also. Like there are some particles that will be having a diameter less than 10 micrometer. There would be some face marks that can even filter some particles if they are having a particle size less than 2.5 micrometer. So what is the problem with this suspended particulate matter? See, the problem with this suspended particulate matter is that it can not only lead to problem in breathing, but it can even infiltrate into the lungs. It can even go inside the lungs and then damage it internally. So this is really problematic. Getting it, guys, now? So due to burning of fossil and fuel, furthermore, it can damage our lungs. It can damage our lungs. Okay. So Chakrika, you are going to be discontinuing from here, no? You have a test, you told me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Also, see, mhm, yeah. So the thing is, now I don't think today we'd be able to complete the chapter because it's a lot to be discussed. We have to discuss about the case of the Taj Mahal. We have to discuss about what are the causes of pollution in Agra and its effect. Greenhouse effect is left to be discussed. What are the sources of carbon dioxide on Earth, that is left to be discussed. Global warming, then prevention of air pollution, water pollution, the case study of Ganga, or causes of the water pollution of Ganga, eutrophication is left, potable water is left. So one more class would be required. So you'd be required to be present in that class also. Okay, na Chakrika?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Also, the right now whatever we are going to discuss, make sure you watch the recording. Okay, na?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Okay, Gauri, let's continue from here. Okay. So we did learn about the effects that these pollutants have on our environment. All right now. So
Yes,
hope that is clear. Now talking about the air pollution and the case study of the Taj Mahal. So we know that the Taj Mahal is one of the seven wonders of the world. Like this is one of the UNESCO site, UNESCO World Heritage Site. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
And we see that moments ago we have learned about that they are primary pollutants and they are secondary pollutants, right? In the case of secondary pollutants, we did learn about pollutants like sulfur dioxide or like nitric acid or sulfur dioxide or some other gases that causes acid rain. Hmm? So before we discuss about the case of Taj Mahal, it is important we have a special look at the case of acid rain. Okay. By the way, acid rain, is it a primary pollutant or secondary pollutant?
Sir, secondary?
Secondary pollutant. Okay. Now, as we know, due to burning of fossil fuels like coal, like petroleum, like other fuels in the factories or in thermal power plants, or in the case of like oil refineries, uh, so they will be producing acidic gases like sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides. So whenever some gases would be burned, whenever different kind of fuels are burned, like for example, petrol, diesel, when these are burned, not only these, there are some other fuels also. Okay, now. So when these are burned, like in the factories when they are being burned, or in the oil refineries when they are being burned, oil refineries, or for example, when they are being burned in the thermal power plants. So they will be releasing, upon burning, they release some acidic gases. They release some acidic gases that are namely sulfur dioxide, SO2, sulfur dioxide. And this gas is acidic in nature. This is a acidic gas. Remember, we have had learned that there could be like you would have learned in the chapter acid, base, and salt in your previous class, that acids can certain gases can also be acidic in nature. Certain gases can be basic in nature also. Okay, no? So
Yes,
this
sir.
will, upon burning of the fuels, acidic gases like sulfur dioxide or nitrogen oxides will be released in the atmosphere. Okay, these will be released in the atmosphere. Okay, now this sulfur dioxide, it will be reacting with water vapor, or this nitrogen dioxide, this they will be reacting with the water vapor present in the atmosphere to form sulfuric acid or nitrogen oxide, whereas nitrogen oxide will be reacting with water vapor in the atmosphere to form nitric acid, Getting it? So here you have, for example, see that this is water vapor. Lots of water vapor is there. So if it reacts with sulfur dioxide, thereby it will be forming sulfuric acid.
Acid.
Or if it were to react with nitrogen oxides,
Nitric acid.
very good. So then it will lead to formation of nitric acid. Okay, now so we can see that acid rain is that kind of rain which contains some amount of acids formed from acidic gases like sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides, right? Now that is the case of acid rain. And this acid rain, it destroys forest. It can kill the aquatic animals like fishes. Hmm? So it can damage the forest by destroying their leaves. Basically, the leaves will be burned up. Talking about the effect of acid rain, so it can destroy the forest. That is the first thing, that the forest will be destroyed. It can not only it can also like it can also kill the aquatic animals. So aquatic animals and plants, they will also be killed due to this, right? Now, because we know fishes will be able to survive if the pH level of the water is around 7. Right now, if the water is neutral, neither acidic nor basic, then fishes would be comfortable to live in that water, right now.
Yes, sir.
But due to acid rain, the pH level will reduce, the water will become acidic, hence the aquatic plants and animals will start to die. Furthermore, acid rain will corrode statues also. Statues will be corroded, buildings, historical monuments, they are also damaged because of this, right? Now, the statues, monuments, buildings, as we know that they are basically made out of marble or limestone. Now, all the major monuments that you see, they would be made up of marble. Marble is basically limestone. Now, that is calcium carbonate, CaCO3. Okay. So we know one of the problem of acid rain is that it corrodes the statues or the buildings or historical monuments and damages them slowly. And the most of the statues or buildings or the monuments are made out of marble. Marble basically is a limestone. So the acid present in the acid rain would be slowly reacting with the carbonates in the marble or limestone of a statue or building or a monument to corrode it slowly. Okay, now say for example, I have taken a marble out of the Taj Mahal, for example, or I have taken some limestone. Okay, like here, this is marble. I have taken some limestone. So the acid rain would be reacting with this. Acid rain will react with them, and slowly it will lead to corrosion. So in this way, acid rain makes the statues, buildings, or monuments crumble slowly. Okay, now it will crumble slowly. Okay, now
Yes, sir.
also there when acid rain falls, or basically when acid will be falling on marble, it leads to a phenomena called as marble cancer. Okay, and leads to marble cancer, basically. Getting it? where the surface of the marble will become corroded and will become rough. Usually marble is soft now, but when acid will be falling on it, it will become corroded and rough. So we know that air pollution can severely affect our environment. One of the great example of the harmful effect of air pollution, we can view it in on Taj Mahal, right? Because air pollution ultimately leads to acid rain, right now.
Yes, sir.
And acid rain will further impact the marble. It will lead to a phenomenon called as marble cancer, where the marble will become decolorized. It will lose its luster. It will lose its color. Right now, so the air pollution in the region surrounding the Taj Mahal, the air is very much polluted. Okay, now. So it has led to acid rain and thereby led to decolorization of the white marbles of the Taj Mahal. So this is how it becomes. This is how now has become. So talking about what are the causes of air pollution in Agra and what are its effect on the Taj Mahal. So the main sources of air pollution, main source of air pollutant, I mean to say the main sources of pollutants in the air in the Taj Mahal are the industries that are around Agra. Okay, na? That are around Agra. For example, there are some industries like Mathura oil refinery is there. There are some automobiles. There are some rubber processing industries. Some chemical industries are there, and all these industries would be releasing lots of harmful substances like sulfur dioxide or nitrogen oxides in the atmosphere. Right now, there you can relate with the same thing as we have discussed moments ago. These gases, when it is being released by those different like Mathura oil refinery or some other industries, so that will lead to acid rain. Right now,
Yes, sir.
getting it now. And as the acid rain will be falling on it, it will be decaying the marble. The marble will suffer from a condition called as marble cancer. It will become decolorized and will appear as pale yellowish in color. Will appear as pale yellow in color. Getting it now. So that
Yes,
is
sir.
one thing. So the causes here you have one of the main. I don't know if it still exists, but when I read about it the last time, there was a Mathura oil refinery. Mathura oil refinery. There are some other industries also. Okay, now, like for example, automobile industries, some chemical factories, or some rubber processing factories were also present over. Rubber factories were also present. These were the major sources of pollutants in the air. They will be releasing gases like sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxides. Okay. And this Mathura oil refinery, it was particularly not only releasing these gases, but also releasing so many suspended particulate matters right now. And these are very small particles. So these particles were sticking to the are sticking to the wall or to the marbles of the Taj Mahal, thereby making it appear yellowish in color. Okay, now. So then what are the steps that has been taken place? What are the steps that has been taken, I mean to say, in order to mitigate, in order to reverse the damage? So the industries that are located around Agra, they are now switching to clean fuels, use of cleaner fuels. Can you give me some example of clean fuels? Yes, Gauri. Give some example
Um,
of clean fuel. Uh-huh.
Kerosene?
Kerosene, no. Kerosene, how can it
No?
be a clean fuel? No. Do you know about compressed natural gas?
Yes, sir.
Huh? Or liquefied petroleum gas?
Yes, sir.
They are cleaner fuels now. So the
Yes, sir.
industries, they are switching to CNG or LPG. Okay, na, to prevent the air pollution and protect this monument. All right, now that is one thing. Also, we know that the petrol that should be used in the automobiles now, that obviously is going to give harmful smoke right now. So you can't just stop the cars from running near the Taj Mahal area now. So thereby, lead should not be used in the engine of that car. In that car, lead should not be used. Okay, now because presence of lead also releases lots of harmful gases.
So what is lead?
Lead is one of the element, no? Like one of the element which we have. Okay, no?
Okay, sir.
And lead is very harmful. Like it causes so many problems. Getting it, no?
Okay,
Lead,
sir.
lead can be very hazardous for our health. Just like asbestos can cause problems like cancer, no? So petrol should not contain lead in this basically. Okay, now basically we are talking about unleaded petrol or basically unleaded gasoline. Basically a petrol that does not contain lead or lead compounds in it. Okay, no?
Okay,
Anyways,
sir.
going back to another topic, the greenhouse effect. So although we have just 1 minute left, so have you learned about this in the previous classes, greenhouse effect, or will you be learning it for the first time?
So like I have learned it, but not that much, not in detail.
Okay. So let's do one thing. We'll be revisiting this topic. We'll be continuing from here from the next class. Okay, now,
Okay, sir.
and probably in the next class, obviously the chapter will be finished. Okay.
Yes, sir. Bye,
The
sir.
next, by the way, the next class will be when you'd be having. I thought you left. So when you will be we'll be having the next eighth class now. So right after that, we can schedule the extra class, just like today we had. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Mhm.
Bye, sir.
Bye.